is help and healing and hope for people in that circumstance. So you don't have to stay there. You know, people say, well, you don't understand. No, I was born this way. I was born a sinner too. And I had to change, right? And therefore, anything you do that is any type of deviation off of the norm that God has established has to be changed and can be changed. And God does not expect you to change without giving you the power to do it. Right? So whatever He expects you to do, He empowers you to do. Amen? So, now, but that's what generally happens, and I try to break this down. Now, that's the second way, is through an accident, trauma, something like that. But the third way, and this can be for anybody, but it happens mostly along the lines of people that are either in ministry, heading toward ministry, something along those lines. And that is flat out attacks. The enemy just attacks, right? And then you hear people say, well, but the curse doesn't come, like a bird doesn't land, whatever. Well, the curse doesn't come without a cause, that kind of stuff. Okay, the cause is the devil hates you. Okay? You don't have to do anything other than show a love for God and people, and the devil already hates you, and many times he will attack you because of that. All right? People say, well, you got to open the door somewhere. We're going to talk about all that later on. But you know, that's not a situation, right? But if you're taught that, then you believe that, then you believe every time you make a mistake, the door is open, or you're out from under God's protection, and the devil can do whatever. And believe me, when you believe that, the devil takes advantage of that wrong idea. That's a stronghold that has to be torn down. Okay? Nothing shall by any means hurt you. That's what you need to believe. Not every time I step over here or make a mistake, God's hand is off of me. Right? And so you need to realize, I'm not saying, you know, you can live any way you want and you're okay. I'm not saying that at all. But, and believe me, if that's what you're hearing, then in your heart, you're not walking with God. Because believers don't want to sin and get away with it. Believers want to get away from sin. Right? But many times what happens is if you don't get away from it, you start instead of you rising to the standard, you bring the standard down. And that's where the ultra grace or hyper grace stuff has come in, because they've started saying nobody can live the standard, so the standard must be too high, so let's lower the standard, so now sin doesn't matter. Sin always matters. Right? Sin, it leaves scars. Right? And it can keep you from attaining all that God has desired and designed you to be and to do. Amen? So,